Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and once again, thanks for joining us live today on this wonderful edition of Farafina show. And our today's program is going to be about something that is very interesting to all immigrants, especially Africans. You know, there are a lot of things going around the continent Africa and the people residing in Africa and out of Africa. So many other countries around the world are really doing a lot better than African countries. And a lot of people are still wondering what is the difference, what is the problem, what are they doing that Africans are not doing? Where are we where we are? Why are we where we are today? Why? So we want to give you some factors, like, give you reasons. And this is just my personal analysis. I've been doing this for quite some time, trying to see what I think could be the problem. So this is nothing factual or wrong. It is just my opinion. And I want you to watch this, comment on it, let me know if it is right or wrong, what is, this whole thing about. So African countries, first of all, if you look at Africa, there are countries in Europe and other areas in the world that are really, really new. And when I say new, I'm talking about, because look at Liberia, for example, a country that gained its independence in 1847. 170 plus years old. Just celebrated its 172nd independence on July 6th this year. July 26th, sorry, this year, July 26th. But then still, things are still the same. Sometimes things are even a little worse than they were before. And we could blame the war for that, the civil war in Liberia. But then what about other African countries? And since the war, we've had a government that was there for 12 years after the war. But then things are still the same, maybe a lot even worse than they were before. So some of the factors that I have come up with, thinking that they might be the reason why Africa is still what it is today. First of all, our mentality. And these things that I'm going to name here, we will discuss them in details. So our mentality, the way we think. And what do I mean by that? To be discussed very soon. And another one is our leaders, the leaders that we have. And also the people themselves, not the leaders, but the people they are ruling also. And another reason is hate and envy. Number 4, the lack of consistency in doing things. And the 5th one, probably the last one, lack of vision for tomorrow. So let us tackle these things one at a time and discuss them into detail so that you can know exactly what I'm talking about and you will be able to tell if I am wrong or right. So our mentality, what do I mean by our mentality? Because I don't want to say African mentality. People will be like, oh, Africans are they different from the rest of the human beings? No, but there is something about us. I personally think that there is something about us that needs to change. And if that particular thing changes, it could bring a change in our lives as well. The way we think. We see and believe sometimes without even fact-checking some things. Politicians will come to us and tell us, hey, I want to be your president. If I become your president, I will build roads. I'm going to bring electricity. I will do this. I will do that. And then people will just agree. Why? Because they want something out of them. If I am getting $100 from someone, I don't care what the person is saying is true or not. I am going to agree with him or her, all because I'm going to get something out of them. I do not think about the rest of the human beings. I only think of myself. That's the mentality I'm talking about. People do not worry about others. They worry about themselves. They care about what's going to affect them in their lives. They do not care about the rest of the people around them. And you will see people that will be very aggressive in doing things, and people will call them heroes, even if they are violating the Constitution or the laws. But people will call them heroes. They will call them, say, oh, this guy is the strongest guy. He's the man. Why? Because that person is being aggressive in doing things, and nobody is trying to see if the person is doing it right or wrong. They like leaders that lie to them. And when I say they, I'm talking about us, Africans, Africa as a whole, all of us. We like leaders that lie to us. We don't like people that are truthful to us and themselves. If somebody comes and tells us the truth, we don't want to hear that. But the one who's going to come and lie to us, say it into our faces, everybody is going to agree with those lies. At the end of the day, you see us again complaining about those same people. They lie to us. We say, yes, no problem. And then we come and complain. And that person leaves, another person comes over, the same thing happens. Why don't we learn? When are we going to learn? How will we learn? What do we need to learn from those mistakes that we are making? We have so many issues to take care of. But we have to be fair enough to ourselves. Let us not elect our leaders because of popularity. Let us not elect our leaders because of relationship. Let us not elect our leaders because of something coming back to us. Let us elect our leaders for the future of our unborn children, the future of ourselves and the children that we have right now. If the world was all about one person, then you could have done whatever you wanted to do. But this is about everyone. If the president fails, everybody else does. So why not elect a president that is not going to fail you? Even though sometimes there are some mistakes that you cannot avoid. And that is fine. That's humanity. That's part of being a human being. But do not know and do it. You know exactly, like, when I do this, it's going to be wrong. And then you are like, oh, yeah, let me just try. That is the issue that we have. That mentality needs to change. And the second one is our leaders. And when I say our leaders today, I'm not just talking about presidents. I'm not talking about ministers, representatives, senators, and all of that. I'm talking about every single leader. You can be a leader in your class. You can be a leader in your home. You can be a leader in your school. You can be a leader at work. You can be a leader anywhere. How faithful are our leaders? We come to these Western countries, study, look how transparent they are, learn from them, and then we go back, we become more corrupt than ever. So why are we learning though? If only your education is not going to benefit anyone else but yourself, then that education, for me, I'm not saying you, I'm just speaking my mind, that is useless. That's what I consider it to be. Do not be self-centered. Our brothers who come to this country here, I mean the United States of America and other countries, we've been given the opportunity to stay here, study, go back to help our countries. But when we go back, the things that we do not do here are the ones that we do there. We see ministers in their cars, sometimes they stop in the middle of the road somewhere, try to speak to some other people because they have the title minister. How many times have we seen senators, representatives, and other government officials in this country and other countries around the world doing such? Only in Africa you can see that. Leaders violate the Constitution all the time. Why? Because they are leaders. Were they taught to do that? Is that the kind of education they obtained when they were attending universities and colleges in the United States of America and other countries around the world? Why are they doing that now, though? And then, on the other hand, you will see us ourselves, because I said today we want to talk about leaders and those that they are also ruling. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to do anything other than working in the government. And that is why our countries are so corrupt today, because the government is considered to be the only source of income. That's the only means you can achieve something true. Being a mechanic is not for an educated man in Africa. Being a tailor is not for an educated man in Africa. Being a truck driver is not for an educated man in Africa. There are a lot of other things. We do not consider any of those to be for educated people in Africa. Those that are educated want to look clean all the time. They want to be sitting in offices. They only want to be on computers. They only want to have books in front of them and pen and other things. They do not want to fix cars. You look in the, at this country here, people go to school to study auto mechanic. When they graduate, you see them, they got their license, and they open a shop. They will be sitting there working on cars. That is the type of education that Africa and Africans need. We do not just need the education that can put us into offices. And until we learn from those, I'm sorry to say this, but we've got a long way to go. Do we ever consider business to be for an educated person? Somebody goes to school, they say, I'm studying business management. I'm doing accounting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. After studying everything about money, they never want to sit somewhere where they will be selling. I remember seeing this one guy that I appreciate so much, I always say it. This guy was a high school graduate. He graduated. And in America here, we don't have that, but those of you back home and other areas in Africa, most of you know that what we call the cell phone booths, where you go and charge your cell phone, because we don't have that much access to electricity at home. So you take your cell phone to the cell phone booth and they charge it for you, and you pay them after they charge it, and you also buy recharge cards over there. I think few people do have that here. Not a lot, but yes, recharge cards, we do have that here. That is not the unlimited plan, but the prepaid plan. We have some other plans here where you have to pay for it. Like AT&T has that, T-Mobile has that, and other companies. So when you go, you buy those recharge cards from them, to recharge your phone to be able to communicate, because we do not have unlimited plans in mostly probably in all of the African countries that I know. So that cell phone booth, this guy, when he graduated from high school and he went to college, he graduated, he opened a cell phone booth where he was selling accessories for cell phones and selling recharge cards and also charging people's phones. So people are like, who is this guy? You graduated from college and then you come and sit here and start selling these little things. You can't go find a job. And I was telling them, I'm like, this is the job that all of you guys need. This brother's got a job. He's had a fantastic job. He's got a fantastic one. He studied business management. Now he's going to be managing this business. He will use his skills from school to know how many of each of those accessories that he needs to buy. He will be able to check the inventory to know how many do we have left, which ones do we need to refill. This brother's education is going to help him to do all of that. If you did not go to school, you may not understand all of that. The brother is using his skill. Today, that brother's business is growing bigger and bigger. Why? Because he used the skill from school to manage that business, and it's working for him. But we do not do that. We all want to be in offices. You tell someone today, say, oh, my man, you mechanic, man, so go in the garage and start working. They start cursing your pa. They curse your daddy, they curse your mom, they say, oh, this guy does not respect people. How can you tell me to go work in a shop? But bro, sister, that's what you need. And another one is hate and envy. We hate one another so much that we do not want to see each other prosper. If your brother comes to your area today, especially a friend, and he sees you prospering, your business or whatever you're doing is flourishing, the next thing he's going to find a means to let you down. He wants to see your downfall. He doesn't want to see you growing. If they see you doing something, instead of them helping you, they will all jump into it. Your friend will go to your place today and see you doing a business and things are going well. The next day, you probably will see that he already opened that same thing that you have. Because he's thinking like, oh, this guy is making money, let me make some money too. Yes, it is okay to compete, but let us compete positively, not in a negative manner. You can help your brother to succeed, and that could be a help for you in the future too. And lack of consistency is one thing in us too. What do I mean by that? We are not consistent and persistent. I always say this at work, and my friends, brothers and sisters at work, co-workers, we always laugh about this. Every time I say, you got to be consistent and persistent, But it is true. Consistency, when we start doing something, we will be like, and then after a few days, months, or years, you see that the energy would die slowly. Everything is going to be dying down because we don't care anymore. We only look at this particular moment. We are not consistent. Somebody can buy cars today and say, oh, I want to do car business. Tomorrow you see him, he's doing another business. Day after tomorrow, he's doing another one. Maybe a few days after, you hear him saying, I want to open a school. You got to be consistent. You have to tackle one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Well, you have to do that. Tackle one at a time. Try it. If it works, perfect. If it doesn't work, you can find another way to move things around and do something else. But you got to be consistent. You have to try first. And that consistency comes with one thing too, that I said that we are lacking, which is the vision for tomorrow. We don't have a vision for tomorrow. We only know today. We only want to see ourselves getting to where we want to be today. If an African man opens a business and then he starts to sell things or do whatever that he's doing there, and after a day or two, if he does not get what he wants from that business at that moment, trust me, that business is going to be closed down. And he will start looking at other things. But what is the difference between us and the Western world? Consistency. I told her, I always lecture with my friends and we talk about this one thing. I'm not going to name the company here, but there is this one company that we all worked for at a time, and they had an issue one time with the FDA, and the business was not going well. But guess what? That did not stop this company from paying its employees. Everybody was getting paid. People were working overtime, doing even double time. They were paying everyone. They did not say one day that, oh, you know why? Things are not going well, so you guys wouldn't get paid this week. Nope. They did not say that we will close this business down because things are not going well. But guess what? Instead of doing that, they decided to even build more. They said, you know what? We're going to build more products, because if our products are approved tomorrow, then we know that we have something to start selling right away. They plan their future ahead of time. Your tomorrow starts today. They plan their future ahead of time. Few years later, we were told that our company made like $2 billion profit. And everybody was like, what? And I was like, yes, this is what I was saying the last time. When these guys were struggling, nobody really cared much to know what they were going through. They were patient in the face of all those difficulties. And today you can see that things have changed for them, for the better. Africans need that same mentality. We need that mentality of doing things and waiting for the result patiently. Everybody wants that fast money. Yes, it's good. If I get fast money today, I'll take it, man. Who doesn't like money? Who doesn't want to be rich? Who doesn't want to get things that he or she likes? We all want to be the way we want to be. And you have that particular way of thinking about yourself, like, this is how I want to be in the future. But can you force it though? No, it is all depending on the Almighty God, right? He decides when he wants to give you what you deserve. But we got to keep trying. And when we are trying, we need to remain calm in the face of difficulties. The last but not the least, our systems, our democracy, our constitution. Can we really hold on to what is given to us? Africa and Africans are the only one that call for change, even if they have the best. Sorry if I'm saying this today, but I think it is the truth. You don't just have to call for change because you want change. Call for change when you think it is necessary to do so. You see people, they say, no, we don't want the other president anymore. We want change. Yes, you want change, brother. You want change, sister. But are you changing for the better, though? Or you just want change? You want to see another head, right? You've gotten tired of that other face. And now you are like, no, I want to see another face again. So even if that means that the country is going to go backwards, if that is going to take you back to where you came from, and you've already promised yourself never to go back again. I personally, I'm not in favor of dictatorship, but I am in favor of good governance. And what do I mean by that? Because now people are like, my man, you're speaking in tongue. Be specific. What do I mean by that? I am in favor of good governance if we have a good president. If we have somebody who cares the most about the nation, who's doing what everybody likes and we need and deserve. And he or she wants to stay for a few more years to complete the projects that he or she has started. I would definitely agree for that person to stay on. That is my position today. I would agree for that person to stay on, get that project done, and then leave. But I wouldn't just call for change, and then when that change is here, I start to complain again, start saying, oh man, we missed this other president. We missed this other person. Are we going to be missing them all the time? Let us just now call for change when it is not going to help us. If at all we know that we will call for a change that will be of a help to us, definitely let's go for it. But a change that is going to bring nothing but harm to our nations, that is going to make our nations to be undeveloped, that is going to make us to live in poverty, that is going to make our people to sleep hungry, that is going to make our brothers and sisters to steal just to survive, that is going to make our sisters to be prostitutes in the street just to survive, that is going to make our moms to let their kids go out and do the wrong things just to bring something home for them to survive, that is going to make the whole nation to cry, that is going to make us to think that the past was better than the present, that is going to have people commit suicide. Let us now go for that change. But a change that will mean that we will be better than our neighboring countries. We will be better in the eyes of the rest of the world. We will live happily. We will not envy one another for what they have. Our leaders will not just do things because they have the power to do so. Our leaders will also know that we are human beings as they are. Our leaders will be able to tell that justice must be done to all men. That is the change we all have to go for. And if we see it, we must go for it. If we do not see it, let us not go for it. Let us not kick our good leaders out. Keep the good ones around you. The bad ones must be kicked out. We all agree on that. That's a general rule. Kick them out. But the good ones, keep them around. Don't hate them because you guys are not from the same political party. You are a man of that country. He or she too is another citizen of that country. And with that being said, you guys all have to help to make that country better. My final word to my brothers and sisters, politicians, the ones that only go to school to come and eat our money, the ones that only go to school to come and make us suffer, the ones that only go to school to come and make us look stupid in the eyes of our brothers and sisters around us, the ones that only go to school to come and get something out of us. Love your countries. They are depending on you, the citizens of those countries. You may not know, but having an educated person in a family, having a politician in a family that is highly respected in a nation is just good enough for that family. Those people can boast of you guys outside. They can boast of you in front of their friends. And how do you pay them back? Do the right thing. Politicians do not care about their countries. They pray for the downfall so that they can come and deceive people with their sweet words. If John is our president today, Sekou does not want to see John becoming successful unless they are on the same political side. Sekou wants to see the downfall of John so that he can come and tell people, say, oh, you see, John did not do it right. I am here to make it right. And Peter will do the same thing to Sekou. But what if we all come together? Liberia as an example before I leave you. I said this before. A country like Liberia, where you have George Manawia, His Excellency, that's our current president. You have Amara Kone. You have Benona Ure. You have the likes of Henry Costa, Darius Dillon. And you have Alexander Cummins. And many others that I can't name all of them right now, but this is where I'm going. In a country where you will have Benona Ure, for example, as a Minister of Agriculture. You have Amra as a Minister of Finance. The lawyer himself. The Senate bearer for Liberty Party. You know, names are hard to remember sometimes. I know I called his name earlier. So you take him to the Justice Ministry, George Weah, to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. If you take all of those guys and put them in some positions like that, do you think that country will ever suffer again? Alexander Cummins, bring him for business. Put him to planning and other things. Brothers and sisters, that will be it. Liberia, for example, will become one of the most successful nations in the world. You guys know more. You know we have a lot of those guys. You can put them in some specific positions, and that will be it. If they really, really, truly mean good for this country, and that goes to all other politicians in Africa and across the world. If you really love your country, you can all come together. In 1 year time, these countries will be successful. So this is Mohammed Donzo coming live to you from Farafina Show. I want to say thanks to all of you for watching us today. We have more inspirational videos coming after this. Continue to watch us. Find us on YouTube, Farafina Show. Find us on Facebook. You know, we have a group page and we also have an official page. So look for Farafina Show and you will be seeing our videos. We also have, you know, we are available on Google Market. You can download our app on Google Play Store and see more of these videos. We also welcome everyone to join us here because we want to make this, you know, broaden this program. So we need more people to join us. So these are some of the ways you can get to us. And if you want to contact me in person, as a representative of my group, you can give me a call on 763-221-1661. Once again, 763-221-1661. It was a pleasure having all of you watching me today. Thank you so much for making this a